Many cutting tools use leverage to multiply force and focus it behind a thin edge which deforms the material until it breaks apart. Wire cutters have two wedge-shaped edges that are forced together through the metal being cut. With some of our cutters, these edges meet edge to edge like two axe blades crashing together. Other cutters pass each other like the blades of scissors, shearing through the metal more cleanly. You have two different kinds of wire cutters in your drawer. You have a diagonal cutters and a flush cutters. If you look at the edge of the diagonal cutters, you can see that they have blunt edges that form a groove on both sides of the jaws, so that when it pinches through the wire, you'll get a characteristic wedge-shaped point on both ends of the cut. Flush cutters have a much finer edges, and their geometry is rotated so the edges form a flat surface on one side. The jaws of our flush cutters overlap each other slightly to create a very fine shearing action that creates an almost flat end on one side of the cut and a severely pinched end on the other. Make sure you cut with the flat side of the cutters toward the wire that you're going to retain. Also, with any kind of wire cutters, the ends of the wire tend to go flying. Grab hold of the wire on both sides of the cut to prevent that. If one end is too small to hold on to, make sure you're not aiming it up into the air. Aim it down at the tabletop or at the wall and away from your neighbors so that the end doesn't go flying off and hit somebody in the face. Some of our flush cutters have a retainer to help hold on to the loose ends. When you cut, place the wire as close to the hinge as possible. This gets all the leverage of the tool working for you. When you place the wire too close to the cutter's tips, it can allow the jaws to flex away from each other as you bear down, storing potential energy that will either be released to launch the end of the wire into next week or break the jaw of the cutter right off. Don't use the flush cutters to cut hard metals like stainless steel or titanium. It will destroy the thin cutting edge and ruin the tool. The heavier edges of the diagonal cutters are much better suited for heavy-duty work.